Happy autumn, all you tree-hugging hippies. Matt with Eddie's Guitars coming to you, as always, from St. Louis, Missouri. I've got quite the excellent guitar for you folks to check out today. This comes from our friends at Collings. And this is part of the new traditional series, now offered by Collings. They're offering orchestra models as well as dreadnoughts with the traditional series package. This is an OM2H traditional. And the traditional series package kind of incorporates a handful of rather minor changes to the build of the guitar that have a surprising impact over the feel and sound that we've kind of grown accustomed to from Collings guitars. Generally, the Collings voice, as it were, is rather pronounced in their trebles, not necessarily an overall bright guitar, but articulate trebles for sure, kind of across the board on the Collings flat top acoustics. And while a lot of folks love that sound for good reason, some of the more die-hard vintage guys specifically really like a little bit rounder, kind of less pronounced, a little more tame top end out of their guitars, a little sweeter, fatter trebles. Collings listened, and more importantly, they acted upon that, and thus the traditional series was born. We've got a little fatter neck carve to it. We've got very light construction all throughout, and it is a warmer, fatter voice, a little bit more of a kind of vintage sounding guitar for sure, very mature voice, very impressive most of all. So a different voice than your typical Collings, but not too far astray from that. You can see here that we started with a gorgeous Sitka spruce top, and this top is wonderful. Very tight grain all the way across, and some nice kind of three-dimensional silking, especially out there on the outer edges. The body of the guitar, you can see, is bound in the traditional grained ivory. It does have the herringbone top border, but it's kind of a brown herringbone that they use on there as opposed to the real bold black herringbone they would otherwise use. Back and sides of this guitar are beautiful straight-grained East Indian rosewood, just a great-looking set of East Indian here. Nice dark color, very consistent grain, very straight grain as well. And the zigzag back strip going right down the center of the back, also keeping it very old school and traditional. I've got to say, this new traditional neck carve that they are offering on these guitars is fabulous. 1 3/4 nut. It's a little fatter neck than the standard modified V shape from Collings, and it actually retains a pretty nice V profile all the way up the neck. It doesn't really round out into a C shape like a lot of other sort of vintage reissue style guitars do. Another aspect I really like about this guitar is the 2 5/16 spacing down here on the ebony belly bridge. It also has that long cut-through saddle as well, rather than just the simple drop-in saddle. So kind of a neat vintage-inspired appointment there as well. All the way up top here, you can see ebony headstock veneer, and that's a gold mother-of-pearl Collings logo inlaid all the way up top, with, of course, the nickel Waverly tuning machines. This is a Sitka braced guitar, and it's extra stiff and light Sitka, specifically selected and set aside for the traditional series guitars, fully scalloped, kind of forward shifted style bracing there. And another aspect I really like is on the traditional series, they're now using the animal protein glue, which is a welcome addition in my book. That animal protein glue over time will harden to be like glass and really becomes exceptionally resonant. And this guitar really has incredible potential to be quite a bit better than it is now, and it's pretty fabulous now. It's got great headroom, but even better for kind of a lighter finger style approach, in my opinion. Really a nice voice there. Crystal clear, but again, it's got a little bit of added warmth and a little oomph in the bass end of things, which is really nice. So let's go take a listen to this one. A welcomed warmth out of the Collings OM2H traditional series guitar. Just a great sounding, really mature sounding guitar. Really a neat voice to this one. Again, I love that little more substantial neck. Just a joy to play, and surprisingly comfortable, even though it's got a little bit more mass to it. Still a very comfortable neck. And I've noticed that these traditional series guitars overall have a bit drier sound to them. They're not quite as ringing in their overtones, but that's kind of another cool aspect about them. They've got kind of a worn-in sound, a little drier, ton of personality to them, though. So really kind of a neat aspect there. And I would be neglectful to not mention that all of the traditional series guitars now come with the made in-house, designed in-house Collings hardshell case. It's a great hardshell case. It's lightweight. It's a little more compact in size compared to the TKL case, which you're probably familiar with, that Collings has been using for years. So we also sell those separately in the store here. So if you're interested in just the case, which a lot of folks are, we also sell those separately outside of the traditional series guitars, but that's a great feature that those come with these traditional series guitars. So pretty cool there. Come check this guitar out in our store if you have the opportunity. I would love to show it to you. I think you would be very impressed by it. And if you're kind of a Collings enthusiast already, this is something you need to hear. Definitely a new voice, but still Collings, very much so still Collings, and all the attention to detail, it's there. So don't worry about that. So come in and hear it if you can. If you're unable to hear it in our shop here in St. Louis, certainly view it on our website, eddiesguitars.com. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel here. We'll see you guys next time.